This is Inspiring Design, where unique innovators come together to share their knowledge, share their insight, and keep us up to date with the latest industry trends. And here's your host, Roshan Senanayake.
What's up, listeners? Welcome to another brand new episode of Inspiring Design Season 2. I'm your host, Roshan Senanayake. Season 2 is all about the student's point of view. We're still design thinking our way through education and design, featuring students from all over Australia in various subject areas, disciplines, and stages in their educational careers. So to kick things off today, I have here with me a very special guest, and in fact, he's the youngest guest that I've ever had on the show so far, Megha Wijewardane. Megha's only 9 years old, but has achieved more than most of us have in a lifetime. He is Australia's only and one junior ambassador of NASA. He has been trained to represent NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission by the University of Arizona, Luna, and the Planetary Laboratory. Megha has the capacity to engage with the public to provide information about the LPL, Goddard Space Flight Center, Lockheed Martin, and other instrument partners. He's really passionate about aerospace, aviation, defense, engineering, science, and technology, and he has worked on challenges in problem solving at international levels and National Space Apps 2017. And this was one of his first ever international problem-solving platforms, and he was able to win the Northrop Grumman Prize at the event, competing at the university level problem-solving. In 2018, Megha participated in Act in Space challenge, where he was the youngest entrepreneur and team leader in Australia, and to pitch to Airbus on a solution for ghost ships. What that actually means is ships with no transponders, using Airbus satellite data. Just incredible. But it gets better. Recently, Megha led a team of 7 for NASA Space Apps Challenge 2019, and the team was able to build an innovative platform to save the lives of most vulnerable people who face natural disasters using NASA live satellite data through an app. So I'm very excited, and let's get into it. Welcome to the show, Megha.
Hi, Roshan. First of all, thank you so much for having me here tonight.
Excited to be here.
Yeah.
Can we start off with a little bit of background on yourself? What's your story?
Oh, okay, sure. So just introduce myself one more time. My name is Megha Wijewardane. My parents migrated here to Australia in 2009, and I was born in 2010. And I was born and raised in Adelaide. And now I'm 9 years old, and I currently go to school at Westminster School, and I have a really good Year 4 teacher at the moment. Her name is Miss Cassie Schroeder. She's a really good teacher, and yeah.
Shout out to your teacher.
Yeah. And my school, it's full of opportunities, and yeah. And I'm even in a chess club, the school cricket team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my parents' names are Dosantri Rantunga and Charity Jawadna. And yeah, that's a bit of my background story.
Yeah. Awesome. Now tell me your involvement with NASA. How did that happen?
So for the first time in 2017, I did the NASA Space Apps Challenge. I was doing my topic was the atmosphere, and that one I won the Northrop Grumman Desktop Prize. And that one I was doing the atmosphere and how the atmosphere helps us. And I did the NASA Space Apps Challenge again for the second time in 2018, and that time I did OSIRIS-REx, the mission OSIRIS-REx, which stands for Origin, Spectacle, Interpretation, Resource Identification, Regolith Explorer.
Wow.
And the X is which is silent.
Yeah.
So OSIRIS-REx.
Yeah.
And then that time that was really well received.
Yeah.
And then this year, 2019. We did a topic from Curious Minds Come Helping Hands, and we're thinking these floods in Sri Lanka, they take innocent people's lives, and we were going to actually create an app for those people not to die in floods. So we reintroduced Megha and I. It's an app, it's a robust flood app, robust flood warning system app, and it gives early warnings to people before floods, way before floods, and it can actually prevent people from dying in floods. We can't stop floods, that's nature's way.
Yeah.
But we can stop people dying in floods, and by giving them early warnings, and it can save most vulnerable people and pets, and yeah. So that's what our app is designed to do. And then recently I got a NASA Junior Ambassadorship for the mission Osiris Rex, and I haven't talked much about Osiris Rex, so I'll talk about that now. So I said what Osiris Rex stands for: Origin, Spectable Interpretation, Resource Identification, Regolith Explorer.
Yeah.
Okay, and the mission is to collect a sample from the asteroid Bennu. It's potentially hazardous and it could impact Earth. So they're gonna collect a sample from Bennu, and then they're gonna measure the amount of ordinary sunlight on it, because ordinary sunlight has an actual push on asteroids. So sunlight can actually push the asteroids towards Earth, and that effect is actually called the arcosphere effect. So they're gonna collect the sample and test the arcosphere effects and measure it, and then they could see if it's gonna impact it or not. And then once they've got the sample, they can actually see how to stop this asteroid from hitting Earth once they've got the sample from Bennu in 2020, and when it's going to return in 2023 back to Earth. It's currently just orbiting Bennu.
I see. So how did you actually get to learn about these things? You're 9 years old. Your knowledge in this area is beyond anyone that I've ever actually met in my life. How did you actually learn about these things?
Well, I actually went to some uni lectures as well, nighttime uni lectures around at 7 o'clock after school. And then I got to meet NASA scientists and NASA astronauts and people.
How did that happen?
Oh, sorry, there's some uni lectures down at Just Uni in Adelaide. I went to them. It's a public lecture, and I watched them, and I got to meet Andy Thomas, all those astronauts, and then I also read a lot of books. Like, books are like one of my best friends, I could say. I read a lot of books. I go to sleep with books. I wake up with books.
Yep.
At lunchtime I also read books. And books and learning from other people are one of the best ways to learn. Yeah.
So what kind of books do you read?
Space, aviation, physics.
Physics?
Yeah, physics. I love physics. Mathematics, that kind of stuff.
So do you actually understand complex physics equations?
Yeah.
How do you learn about that stuff?
So first of all, I love NASA.
Okay.
And you can see those posters there.
Yep.
And because I always study the equations, and my favorite equation is actually Bernoulli's equation. Because without Bernoulli's equation, without understanding, we can't actually understand how planes stay in the air. So it's basically it's physics isn't that hard when you think of it. People might think it's hard, but it's not. So I'll teach you something like it's the Bernoulli's equation.
Yeah.
When a plane gathers, like, you know how a plane gathers speed at takeoff, and then the wing actually produces air over it, because you're probably wondering how a plane takes off. So the air over it is very fast, and that air causes the gravity to actually, once they get the speed, the air goes really fast over it, and then it can actually defy gravity and go up, because it's basically about that shape of the wing, and that shape and that pressure over the wing is, and that way they measure it is actually from Bernoulli's equation. Yeah. So it's basically, if you have the enough speed to defy the gravity and that correct airfoil shape, and if you can actually maintain and actually get with the drag that's coming from your plane, if you can actually hold it back, that drag, and get enough speed to push through the drag and just make it just let it take off. It's physics isn't that hard. Like,
so you essentially visualize the concept before you look at the maths.
It's basically, you can just imagine it. Like, physics isn't that hard. We see physics in everyday life. You can see physics right now. Like right now when I'm talking, you see the sound waves. Yeah. And sorry, you can hear the sound waves.
In your brain, do you see that visually, or can you imagine those things around you when you're looking at the physical space, to imagine those things from a physics point of view? How does that work in your brain?
Well, I don't need to imagine it. I can just see physics all around me. Like, I don't need to imagine it. Like, every day I can see physics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, I can see physics. The clock ticking, I can see physics.
Yeah.
Me talking, the sound waves, I can see physics.
Yeah.
Like
Brilliant.
physics with the sound waves. But
So in terms of when you learned these equations, did someone was it your teacher at school that taught you through how to go through the equations, or was that self-taught as well?
yeah, I basically self-taught that kind of stuff.
That's incredibly impressive. I'm not gonna lie, I struggled with physics in high school. I was okay with Maths B and Maths C, but I was definitely out of my depth when it came to physics. So that's incredible.
Yeah, physics. Well, you can see physics everywhere. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Now talk to me about how you build your knowledge. Now you mentioned books and podcasts. Do you have a routine? Like, let's say if we break down your everyday, what it looks like, a normal day for Megha. What does that look like?
Well, wake up with books. Go to school. Study.
Do you read books when you're on your way to school?
Yeah, in the car. Yeah. When I come back to school, I do read books. And I can also do two things at once. When I'm coming back in the car, I can listen to the radio while reading my books.
And the information absorbs in your brain?
Yeah, and I can also remember stuff for like a lot of time. So.
Wow. All right. So then you go to school. Then what happens?
Also, I go to school. I study, and in my the teacher, my teacher, Miss Schroeder, she gives me, or she gives us as the class special time to do like free time. I normally read, and at lunch I sometimes play cricket. I sometimes also read again. If there's like nothing going on, and yeah, I just read. Reading is a good way to actually calm down. So.
Okay. Actually, let me pause you there. So if you had to pick between cricket and books, which one would you pick?
Books, yeah.
Books?
I gotta pick books.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then what happens
Without
after
books,
school?
this world would be a bit dull. Without books.
I love that saying. I think it's something that a lot of people should utilize more and more. Books has knowledge that from every generation. It's a place that is untapped. So well done.
Yeah.
So what does that look like in terms of after your normal school day? What do you do?
And I come home. I eat after I come home. I chill out and read again. Sometimes I do craft with my parents. Yeah, those kind of relaxing stuff. I don't play video games at all. Yeah. So yeah, that's a normal school day.
Okay. And you mentioned you were building an app for this challenge that you won early this year. How did you learn how to build apps?
Oh, I was the one that made the app.
Okay.
Our app builder, Roshane, he's a very good app builder, and he made and make another app.
I see. Wow. And then I hear that you make a lot of videos as well. How did you learn how to do that in the middle of reading all these books and learning these equations?
My mom, she's a professional editor. She actually worked for news, and she edited news programs.
Okay.
So I learned from her.
Awesome. Well, there you go. You're absorbing from everyone's best abilities and you're putting that out there as your own thing. I'm very impressed. Now, in terms of NASA, what's your vision for them?
For NASA?
In terms of the work that you're doing with your involvement as being an ambassador, the only ambassador in Australia, what do you plan to do?
Oh, so my future plans and my aspirations. Also, when I'm 15, I want to get my private pilot license. So these are my main goals. So when I'm 15, I want to get my private pilot license. And then when I'm 19, to get my commercial pilot license, and eventually fly for Qantas. And then to work for some time for the Australian Space Agency. And then my last main stop is NASA.
Okay. And what do you want to do at NASA when you get to that final stop?
Be in mission control.
Yep.
Be in the mission control. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be in mission control for the Mars missions.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. Now, what? Talk me through why you want to become a pilot first instead of going directly to NASA.
Well, if you think about planes and rockets, they're interconnected. And NASA and planes are interconnected. Well, they are connected, not interconnected. They're completely connected. NASA is all about flight, and rockets and space and aerospace.
Yeah.
So basically, if I get my pilot license first, it'll be way easy for me at NASA.
Fair enough. All right. And obviously, this is a question that I have to ask. And when I mentioned to my family that I was going to be coming and speaking to you, they wanted me to ask you this question as well. Are you going to explore space one day?
I don't want to disappoint anyone. But no.
Okay, fair enough.
I love Earth so much. I don't want to leave Earth.
Not even for a few days?
No, not Earth. I'm gonna stay on Earth.
Okay, fair enough. Do some incredible work in space exploration, but sitting in Earth. Fair enough.
I guess the highest altitude I'll ever go is not higher than 40,000 feet.
Okay, yeah. No worries. All right, so something that I want to learn is how does your education at Westminster help your career and the way it's contributed towards who you are today? If you look at the subjects that you learn at school, what are your favorite subjects at the moment?
Maths, science. They're actually sending me to the Year 12 physics class now, but we don't do physics in Year 4. But they said they'll send me to Year 12 physics. And
Wow.
yeah, so physics, I can have that as a subject.
Yeah.
Physics, science, mathematics. I like story writing, so I'll guess writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the main subjects that I love.
Yeah, yeah. So have you heard of the left brain, right brain? And one side of your brain is actually the creative side. The other side is the more logical reasoning, cognitive abilities. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Yeah. So if one side is very creative, the other side is actually very...
Brainy.
Not brainy.
Yeah,
I think it's more logical reasoning.
Yeah.
And that's where where your mathematical cognitive skills comes about. Which side of the brain do you think you're more heavy with?
Oh, I don't know how to say that. I guess I'm equal in both of them.
Fair enough. Good answer. Good answer. So when you're doing those subjects, did you like those subjects and did you pick those subjects so that you can actually build towards what you're trying to achieve with NASA and becoming a pilot?
What do you mean by pick their subjects like?
Oh, as in, did your school pick it for you?
Oh, I honestly do not know.
Okay.
But they actually, and I was telling to the kids, I really love this project on Newton's laws. Yeah, they did it in science, but it's actually physics.
Okay.
but it's actually physics. But I think my teacher, Miss Schroeder, actually picked that because she knows I love physics.
Yeah.
And we can have that kind of physics.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my talk on Friday, actually.
There you go. So you're obviously doing some incredible work, and you're going to an amazing school that's elevating what you're doing to the next level. So really exciting times. Now, what are you planning on doing at university?
I'm going to do aerospace, definitely. Physics.
Of course.
Aviation, yeah, they have aviation, right?
They do, yeah. Aerospace and aviation.
Yeah, those are the ones.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely sure that you're going to get there the way you are and your incredible mind. Now, you obviously have to listen to my podcast more to learn about the design stuff a little bit more because it's going to help your creative side as well. Yeah. And I have a lot of teachers that actually listen to what we're talking about right here. Do you have advice to your teachers that this is the best chance for you to talk to them and give your point of view on helping their students? Do you have any advice for any students any teachers or even students listening to this?
Shall I tell you both?
Yeah, of course.
This is to parents and teachers. If the child likes something, like say a child is obsessed with space, for example, or physics.
Wonder where that came from.
Or something else. Let them, don't stop them. Don't disencourage them. Because if they don't do the job they love, it won't work properly. Because they won't do the job they love. So don't push your child to do anything. Don't force your child to do anything or your students to do anything.
Let them find their passion.
Yeah. Let them find their pathways. If that student likes something, yeah. So.
Okay, fair enough. And what about the students listening to this?
So I've got two things for them actually.
Okay.
The first is, if you're At my old school, I prefer not to mention the name. I got bullied a lot. I had racism. I had they called me mud color and roast chicken and that stuff like that. And yeah, that's gonna happen. They called me nerd. They called me an alien from Jupiter. I knew that was impossible because nothing can survive on Jupiter. but yeah, they called me all those stuff, but I didn't stop at all. I didn't stop. People are gonna say stuff, but I never stopped, because if I did stop, then I wouldn't go to the place I wanted to go. Whatever they said, I just went on, and whatever they said, I just never gave up.
That's brilliant.
And my mum actually and my parents had to actually come actually send me letters at lunchtimes and actually talk to me, because no one wanted to sit with me at lunch.
Right, I see.
So my mum sent me like letters calling me rocket scientist and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my mum used to send me letters about physics and stuff. So
that's great, and I think that's valuable advice.
I'm in a wonderful place now, and my second one is, don't play video games that much. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with reading a book. it's I don't know what's wrong. Like, people say it's boring, but I have no idea how.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with reading the books, and I think you are just ahead of a lot of people. That's why it comes through that way.
Yeah, if you read a book, you're not going to get to the place if you're going to read a book. Like, say you hang out with bullies. You're going to become a bully if you hang out with bullies. Who you hang out with is who you become. Because I always, as I said, I hanged out with astronauts and those rocket scientists and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you become who you hang out with. If you hang out with bullies, or if you hang out with race car drivers, you become like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who you hang out with is who you become, really. So I chose to hang out with space people and rocket scientists.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I have no doubt you're going to become an incredible rocket scientist one day. So well done, Megha. Seriously, and valuable advice. You've given me goosebumps, and thank you so much for coming and talking to me today.
Oh, thank you, dear. For having me in your podcast.
You're welcome. So that's it for today, folks. Thank you for giving up your time, Megha. And before we leave, I want to give a shout out to Adam V29 for yet another 5-star review. Now, Adam V29 said, by the way, cool username. He says, design thinking for the win. Love the common theme of design thinking coming through on almost every episode. Definitely helped me understand the mindset and values of a designer and its applications across all disciplines. Keep up with the awesome guest, Roshan. So Adam, well, thank you for sharing the love, and I'm happy to hear it's adding value to what you're doing. Everyone else, if you would like to get your words shared across listeners from over 14 different countries, jump online and leave a review and share your love as well. I will be making sure that I personally respond to every single message received and read it out at every single one of my recordings. So jump online for more details to find out about Megha and the incredible work that he's doing on the dedicated page. Just scroll below and look for the show notes on roshansenanaika.com/podcast. Until next time.